Ready to master the carnivore diet, whether you're just starting out or if you want to take your results to the next level. In this video, I'll guide you through everything you need from beginner to pro strategies. By the end, you will master everything about the carnivore diet to make you from beginner to pro and make everything so much easier. Plus, there's one common advice that I have, a hack that I have in the end that will help you to take everything from beginner to pro level. And let's start talking about that in this video. And the first thing is to start with the basic, simplifying the carnivore diet. Carnivore can feel overwhelming, and it is something that can feel complicated as well. You should take away all the carbs, you should eat only fat, and the basics that you should start with is that it is so simple and effective to get started if you just start with the basic. You don't need to buy expensive cuts on meats. You can just start with eating ground beef, and you can add butter, and you can eat eggs. So beef, butter, and eggs is a great way to start. And in meat, you don't have to eat those expensive cuts. As I said, you can take, for instance, bacon. You can eat ground beef. You can eat eggs, and that is a great way to start the carnivore diet if you want to get started right away. Because when you start in that way, when you take the basic and just make it simple, you will get more confidence in this diet, and you will feel that everything becomes so much easier when you're eating this way. And that is the way to start, because you want to feel confident in you want to feel the energy levels come back to your body, and everything is starting to get feeling better again. So that is the best way to start with the basics. Because when you're overcomplicating everything, it will lead to burnout, and that burnout will take you back to the living that you have had before, that you have eaten a lot of carbs, and you will get back to those old habits that are draining you from inside, and you will start eating that standard American diet again, that diet that maybe have made you sick or have just made you overweight. Like me, I have loosened over 20 kilos this year on my journey with this carnivore diet. And when you're just focusing on meat, we just say ground beef and, for instance, bacon, and those two food elements are so simple, and just avoid the carbs, then you have a great start with the carnivore diet. You don't need to make things more complicated than that, because many talks about that you need to eat organs, that you need to eat different exclusive cuts, and or that you need to eat supplements. But skip all those things from the start if you want to level up this carnivore diet, because you don't need to do that. It's much easier if you just cut out the carbs and start with those basic elements, because it is something that is from the start. You will feel, when you cut out the carbs, you will feel a lot of hunger, and you will feel cravings for those carbs. And if you're eating expensive cuts that are more expensive, then you will overeat, and your budget will get so much more expensive. And ground beef and eggs and butter is something that is relatively cheap today. And that is a great way to start, because you can variate those things I can variate it over 100 times, I guess, to different parts and different recipes that you can do. And the second part is that intermediate tips, optimizing meals and nutritions. Because if you want to move beyond the basics, you need to get more out of your meals, because every time you eat and you eat only ground beef, for instance, then it can be something that is not, it becomes boring after a while. And the main focus should be that you should focus on nutrition and energy boost through balance. And that is something that you should strive for. You should strive for that your body should heal from inside, that you should take everything to the next level and make everything so much better for you by just cutting out the carbs and eating more fats. And feel that first starting period is something that can be a struggle, but if you take your carnivore journey for 90 days or 30 days for the first checkpoint, and then you longer it, but if you take it to 90 days, then you will feel so much more energized and you feel so much more a boost in everything inside your body. And the core idea is that you should fine-tune everything without overcomplicating everything. So don't think about the expensive cuts, and just, as I said, beef, butter and eggs is something that is a great way to start. Because optimizing it is something that is a misconception, is that optimizing means that you should eat more supplements or strict measurements, that you should have a journal, that you should weigh everything, and that you should overcomplicate everything that you're doing in this diet. But that isn't the point with this, because the point is that you should bring back everything to basic and eat only the things that will make you heal and make you feel so much better from inside. And just by balancing fat and lean cuts is often enough. That is something that is often enough to take everything to the next level and to start this diet. You don't need to, as I've said a million times in this video, overcomplicate things. It's much easier if you do the simple ways and do it so much easier. And an example of that is that you can include both fatty cuts and lean cuts to maintain energy. For instance, if you want to eat beef, a great fatty steak, and you can combine that with a leaner cut that is a chicken breast, for instance. You can have those two on your plate, and you can combine and eat a little bit of the steak and a little bit of the chicken as well. And that is a great way to make a meal not overcomplicated, and you don't need to have that expensive cut of beef or a steak. You can make patties of ground beef and eat that with the chicken. That is something that is a fantastic way to eat. And you don't need any extra vitamins with a variety of meat sources. So you don't need to think about that extra supplements, because you will get all the vitamins that you can have with this diet, even if it sounds a little bit strange. But I've eaten it for over 10 months and I'm still alive. Avoid sticking to the only one type of meat. And as I said, variety is something that is key. So if you can combine, you can eat fish as well. Fat to fish is something that is fantastic. And you have all of those different seafoods that you can eat as well. So someone that says that this diet is, it's so boring, it's the same things over and over again, but that is so long from the truth. So it's so simple to make a variety of everything that you eat. So the key is that the variety and balance leads to satisfaction, and that brings you to that you will sustain this diet for a longer period of time. And that is the key point, that you should bring everything back to basic, and then you will see how how long you should take this diet. But when you have started those 90 days, it becomes, you will feel those energy levels you will become so much boosted, and you will take it. I will promise you that you will feel so much more. You will get a much more energized life. And now we should talk about advancing techniques to reach to the pro level of the carnivore diet, because that is the next step of this video. And how you do that is that the advanced techniques is that you will fine-tune for maximum results. Now we have learned about the basics, and now it will take everything, will dial up a little bit to make it to the next level. And when you are ready for the next level, you will learn the advanced techniques in this diet, what you can eat in this diet, and what makes you feel more energized, and what will bring the energy levels down just for you. Because that is something that I can't answer, what you like and what you are getting energized. My things that I can't eat is not the same for you. So this is something that we should eliminate. This is an eliminating diet, that you should focus on those things that are great for you. And the things that we talk about often is that you will feel physical performance is something that you feel, and you will get mental clarity, and you will feel health boosts. You will feel much better after these first 30 days, and then when you get to the 60, and then when you're up to the 90 days. Only 90 days you can feel so much better after starting this diet. And the key thing is to get the advanced strategies to maximize the results for you. And the advanced methods like fasting can seem challenging from the start, because to start with just skipping meals, and everybody talks about the 16-8, that you skip the breakfast and eat only 2 meals a day. And that is something that you need to take the first steps from the basics and to the next level, and when you come to the pro level, you can starting with fasting, and start with those elements and experiment with that, because you need to challenge your body as well. You need to challenge yourself to see how you should eat. For instance, at this time, I've eaten a dinner yesterday, and then I will eat lunch today, and tomorrow I will start with the breakfast. And that is a schedule I am into right now. For instance, for a day I started with eating breakfast, and then I didn't eat for yesterday. I started eating for dinner. So there I skipped the lunch, I skipped the dinner, I skipped the breakfast, I skipped the lunch again, and then I eat dinner. So that is something that will take you to the pro level of this. But you need to have the fundamentals first before you start with that level. Because if you start fasting and start with that, everything would start getting chaotic, and that is something that will not work from the start. And fasting isn't restrictive if integrated natural, because that is something that you will feel of the time. That is something that I'm not worried about. If I'm not eating that breakfast, it's no worse for me, because I have all the energy in myself, because I eating so much fatty, for instance, beef, ground beef, for instance, and I eat a lot of butter and eggs. That is something that will bring the energy level, so I can skip a meal easily, and that is something that isn't something that is hard, for instance, at all. So that is something that I do a lot. And the big warning about that is that you should listen to your body and avoid pushing it too hard. Because the thing that you should do when I talk about that, maybe it feels a little bit in something that feels so difficult to eat only 1 meal a day. And that is something that you will take over time, and that is something that you will be able to do when you have started on the basic levels and build the fundamentals. Because an easy step if you want to try fasting when you have started this 90 days of carnivore, if you want to try it out, is the best thing to try out is to skip the breakfast, eat lunch and dinner. That is the best way to start if you want to try out the fasting. That is the best way to start it. And fasting will give you, it equals to better energy, and you will get better mental clarity as well. So that is the pro level of the carnivore diet, is that you should start fasting. But as I said, it's easy to push yourself too hard, that you will get burnout, and that isn't the point, because you should start with eating the fundamentals. Start with that and eat 3 meals a day, and then you can start elaborating with a little bit of fasting as well. And with these tips that I talked about, you are ready to get in this carnivore diet, and you are ready to take it to the next level. And if you're interested in what we're talking about in this video, you can press this video here, and I will help you to overcome even more things that you have started to overcome with this video. So click this video and we will talk more about how to overcome those things.